Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we play video games like Hang On and Joust with the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm the Admiral, Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher St. Rumwald Porter.
And I'm Gary Roby from Harry Potter Minute.
Hey, welcome, Gary.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, totally.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh, yeah, we're excited to have you. We were guests on what's the first one? Sorcerer's Stone. Harry Potter.
For
and the
Sorcerer's Stone, yeah. I had you guys for Quirrell's Disintegration.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, awesum.
Yeah.
Some very
Felt
Indiana
very
Jones
appropriate for the Jones boys. Exactly.
We love disintegrations. Well, thanks for joining us here for minute 65 of Last Crusade, which begins with Henry almost losing his bag as he's jostled in the sidecar, and it ends with just one more Nazi still on their tail.
So Henry doesn't only almost lose his bag and his umbrella, but he also almost loses his hat.
Yeah,
and Indy's doesn't move an inch. And is this because Indy is more secure now that they're kind of in the adventure part? Or is it just mean that kind of Henry very pointedly became Abner Ravenwood after taking his hat? And it's just, he is now that man.
I like the idea that now they're in full-blown adventure, Indy's hat is steadfastly on. I like that.
Yeah. He secretes a kind of, a glue-like fluid that just sort of secures it onto his head when he's in action mode.
Well, it's a nice callback to the teaser trailer where he staples the hat to his head.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy this, Pete. At the very, very, very beginning, I noticed something of this minute. I noticed something really strange, and nothing can convince me otherwise.
Oh.
Yeah, Indy right here attempts patricide. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Watch the beginning of this minute 4 times in a row, like the first 2 seconds. He looks at his dad, and he completely pushes him out of the motorcycle. Like, he looks at him, and he's like, he completely shoulder shoves him, like, really hard.
He kind of does.
The more you watch it, the more you go, oh, Indy's trying to kill his dad. And so I'm thinking it's the exact same thing as, like, the smile punch in Raiders. And I'm wondering if Indy's entire life with his father has basically been the smile part. And now this is the point where he just kicks him out and he's done.
And he's sort of like, well, I'm being chased by Nazis in a high-speed motorcycle chase. It could absolutely look like an accident. Like, I could just do away with him here. And
No
nobody
one would ever suspect a
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Scot-free.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Speaking of suspecting, is it possible that Indy still kind of secretly suspects that his dad might be working with the Nazis?
Oh, interesting. Weird.
Wow. Or is he just so...
He was told never to trust anybody.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right, he was. George, do you think he's just so fed up with the fact that he made this amazing escape? He had that fantastic motorboat ruse, right? He pulled the crate. He pulled the crate top down, or the door up. Whatever he did, he escapes. It's amazing, and his dad is still looking at him disappointedly. He's like, you know what? That's it, old man.
Well, okay, maybe if I kill you, it'll impress you.
Yeah. It is. It's one of the strangest things in the movie. The way that's shot, it's really weird. He's looking right at his dad menacingly, and he shoves him really hard.
And then afterwards, he looks kind of bashful, Indy. He's kind of like, oh, yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess he stayed in.
What have I done? What have I done?
I gotta rein it in. I almost killed my dad. I was bloodthirsty for a second.
Do you think he noticed?
Is that shot, like, do they show that, like, he's trying to get his dad to get rid of his valise and umbrella.
Yeah, maybe it's slowing him down.
Yeah, or does he want him to like drop the valise out in the road so a motorcycle runs over it and crashes? But if you watch it again, and I watched this 30 times, what's interesting is if he is trying to get his dad to get rid of the umbrella, and right at that moment where he shoulders Henry reaches up aggressively for Indy's hat. And it's like they're both trying to take the other one's power away.
That's funny.
Oh,
yeah, they're
nice.
both trying to take the other one's
Nice.
talisman away.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Well, if we want to go full on conspiracy, we can go kind of the Zapruder realm too. Who's shooting at them? Like you hear a couple of bullets fly, and it's the only time they're being
really?
shot at.
Wow.
I was going to say, why aren't they
But
shooting
you don't
at
see
them?
anybody with a gun.
I missed that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, you hear a couple of bullets flying, and I'm not sure if it's like a sniper in the trees or what's going on.
Huh. That's really
This
weird.
whole motorcycle chase is fascinating though, because the original cut of the film, after they finished the film, did not have this motorcycle chase.
Whoa.
And they showed it to test audiences, and the audiences loved it, and the studio executives loved it. But both Spielberg and Lucas felt like the second act ended with too much talking and not enough action. So this is all kind of a pickup shot they did right across the bridge here in Marin County.
Oh, wow.
Not too, just right outside of Skywalker Ranch at Mount Tamalpais State Park.
Oh, awesome.
And it's fascinating. It's also the exact same spot, basically, where they filmed the end of Temple of Doom when Indy and Willie and, well, the fake Indy and the fake Willie and fake Shorty were walking into Mayaport
Oh, you're
Village.
kidding.
Wow.
Well, what time of day is it?
Like noon.
Is it like? Yeah. Well, I was looking at it. Is it like 8:30 in the morning?
It does look like morning. Like there's like
Yeah.
dew on the trees.
Yeah,
and
like a
there's-
beautiful
yeah.
morning. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. It could be.
Were they tied up overnight?
It was late in the day when they got to the cat. Well, it was also storming. You couldn't really tell what
No,
time it
yeah,
was.
we don't know if it was late
Well,
in the day.
no, we had a timestamp from a few minutes ago in the
Oh,
that
yeah.
weird scullery office, Nazi map headquarters scullery maid suite.
Yeah, it was like 6:10 or something, right? Or
It
like
was 10 to 6, but we didn't know if it was AM or PM.
Oh, right.
Must have been AM, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. It seems like it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And that could be dew or it could be rainfall.
Yeah.
Although it's very dusty out here. This movie doesn't make sense.
Well, it had just been raining like crazy the
That's
night
true.
before or the day before.
It's kind of amazing that Henry doesn't use his umbrella in this entire chase. Because there's
Oh,
one
wait
point
a
where it's
minute.
like sticking
Really?
under his arm, and I don't think he does he?
Well, I don't remember. But I was
Yeah.
just blown away because you're right. They're setting a scene up where you're like, oh, he's going to do the old umbrella in the motorcycle spokes.
Right,
Thing.
exactly.
That's another one of the fake outs. I think that's another Spielberg. It's like, we're
Yeah.
going to show you something.
Oh, maybe.
But they're going to fake you out, but then they're not going to actually see it in use until later in the movie.
All right. Do the old breaking away.
Is the umbrella Henry's bullwhip?
Yeah, I think it is.
I guess, but again, he only uses it like once, I think, as any kind of tool.
Yeah,
or-
I would love to see him use it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it should be like a penguin's thing or something. Like it's got a rifle in it. It's got, poison gas,
Well, that fit the Bond theme.
A question for you, Gary. If you
Yeah.
know a character, you meet somebody, and they're always carrying their umbrella around, what does that say about them?
Well, I live in San Diego, so that's like
Yeah.
incredibly interesting because it almost never rains here.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'd be, I don't know, maybe a little concerned. Maybe there's a story. I mean, there's got to be a story to the umbrella, right? Like, what attaches you to this thing? Why are you
Yeah.
carrying it if you don't have a use for it?
Right. And why did he insist on taking that with him when he was being kidnapped by Nazis and taken to a secret castle? Or did they
They let him hold on to it.
Yeah, they let him
Yeah.
hold on to it. It's,
Would you part
Okay.
an old man from his umbrella?
Exactly. It does feel like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
And maybe he stole it from the Nazis.
Oh, maybe it's not even his.
Yeah, like it might run in the family.
Exactly, yeah.
Nazi
Oh,
umbrella.
this is mine now.
yeah.
This umbrella belongs in a museum.
Yeah, that's the famous Mary Poppins umbrella.
Right.
maybe it's like Lucius Malfoy's cane, where like it looks like it's an innocuous thing, but it's really hiding like a weapon.
Oh.
you pull the end of the umbrella out and there's like a sword or
Yeah.
like a knife or something.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, as this
Yeah.
movie progresses, that's the one thing we see that's important to, Indy's dad here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he's got that bucket hat thing, and he's got his umbrella.
Yeah.
And like the doctor's bag kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Huh.
does that disappear after a while? His bag? I'm sort of picturing him not having it all the way through the movie, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, we'll have to watch for that.
Yeah,
They were good about Shorty's blocks on his shoes. So
that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So yeah, then they break through they approach a border, like a border crossing.
Yeah.
And they seem to be leaving Austria and entering Germany because those are all Austrian flags hanging from the pennant.
Interesting.
The pennants.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I love that shot when they're over their
Yeah.
shoulder coming up on the thing. I don't know why I do, but I love. It just looks really pretty. It's really nice. It's like they've been on this totally wooded thing, and now they're coming up on this little. It's just like a border patrol gate thing, but it's like a nice little structure, and it looks really nice.
But Indy sees it and he just grins. Like I like that. Like he sees nothing but possibility here.
Right. Yeah.
Well, why does he grin though? Is he happy to be crossing the border?
Like I'm happy to be going into Germany
Yeah.
away from the Nazis.
More adventure. Exactly.
This is where all the high scores happen.
Right. What's weird is that after Indy crashes through the barricade, the guardhouse Nazi tries to wave off the pursuing Nazi motorcycles.
Right.
Which is, and it's really strange. It's like, doesn't he know that they're in pursuit?
It's it's Close Encounters. It's like, hey, that's Ohio. That's 50 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like even to the cops.
You don't have jurisdiction over
He's,
there.
he's one of those pesky by the book sticklers.
Yeah.
You didn't sign in.
Did he think the German Nazis? I hate Austrian Nazis.
Yeah. Let's break their fence.
This German guy on the other motorcycle though has either some serious guts or a serious lack of brains, because that seems so unbelievably scary to drive a motorcycle through a big wooden barrier.
Yeah.
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 I'm amazed he stays on his bike.
Yeah.
He's a big fella. He's got some.
He is a big fella, yeah.
Barricade girth. Battering ram. He's It is interesting. Yeah. Like why? I don't know. It seems like a weird move for him. Like what? Shouldn't he? I don't know. He's got a machine gun and he pulls it out like way too late. You think like maybe he would just stop
Yeah,
at
he
the
takes his
border and just
time.
like stop a bike and just aim at them and shoot them dead? Like wouldn't that have worked better? I don't know.
Well, he's already proven that he doesn't care about borders. He's like, no rules for me, man.
That's true.
Get your motor running.
I take the high road whenever I want. And did you guys know like when he does get up on that high road, he actually stands up to look down to see if he can see Indy and his dad. It's
Oh,
actually-
right.
it's a
Oh,
nice little
yeah.
touch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's something really strange here, and I can't tell if it's just me. It usually is. But is at second 30, like, was anyone else confused when the camera does a supposedly 180-degree pan across the intersection?
Yeah. No, wait. Why was it? What was?
I
confused
watched
by?
that over and over, that pan, and it kind of gets blurry, and they're
Yeah.
showing the Nazi motorcyclist coming the one way, and you're like, oh, he's and then they show Indy coming the exact opposite direction, and when they do the pan, I can't get it out of my head that those two roads are perpendicular to each other.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
I got the opposite impression, actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was a masterful shot. Like you see that this isn't like this isn't a stunt where they have or an easy shot where they have two motorcycles, like two things in different
Yeah.
shots. Like this is one shot and they're both speeding at high speed right at these barriers.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty amazing shot for the time.
It's pretty rock solid. You're
Sure.
wrong to be
Yeah.
confused, Jerry.
That's what I figured. So the guy goes up on the high road, and there's a little U-turn, and when he makes that U-turn, he's on the exact same road that Indy's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just literally took a perpendicular high road.
Oh, you mean a parallel
That's what I
highway.
mean. I'm
See,
sorry,
now
yeah.
who's confused?
No, the triangle's the
It's
rectangle.
hanging out with you. I start thinking I'm dumb.
See, I'm here for you, Jerry.
No, yeah, so they're on the same road. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he like took a shortcut to get where he
Yeah.
was.
Right.
And then Indy grabs the joust, the flagpole.
The lance.
I'm sorry, the lance. And Henry gets so excited. He's like so it's like right
Yeah.
up his alley. It's like his whole like,
I know, I love it.
yeah, it's like I read about this in books.
He gets his big grin like, yeah, I know what you're doing.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
He tried to kill me a minute ago. He's gonna joust that dude.
But I think this is one of the most important moments of the movie here, because this is the moment where Indy becomes a modern day knight. And I think Henry smiles because he realizes that Indy's finally joined him on the quest.
Oh, interesting.
I like that.
That's really good.
Like this is he's now part of Henry's quest. He's like, oh, I've been waiting this my whole life.
My God, that's amazing. You think Indy takes his jacket off and he's got chainmail on?
Yeah.
It's
Probably.
like, oh, there it is. I'm a professor of medieval literature. This is great.
But is this the moment where Indy starts to become worthy of drinking from the Grail later? Like, is this the moment where Indy becomes a knight? Because the knight later, I think, will refer to him as in terms as if he's a knight. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if this is sort of where Indy becomes a knight of the Grail.
Weren't there lots of actual knights though who didn't do the joust whole thing? So would they automatically not count? Like, do you have to do a joust to become a knight?
Actually, they did. I think like a lot. Like that was like when you were becoming a knight. It was expected that you would do these competitions, like the
Okay.
joust competitions, and guys would die and stuff doing them.
He has already had a squire and Shorty. So,
It's true.
and he's probably eating a big like leg of mutton or something.
Oh,
just trying to
yeah.
think of all the
Yeah.
all the knight, check marks we can do.
It's really funny and ridiculous. Pete, this is the moment he becomes a knight. He jousts a Nazi.
I'm humoring him, Jerry.
No, I love that.
I'm all for the idea of Indiana as the modern
Thank you,
knight.
Gary.
No, I
Thank
like
you.
it. I like it. It is perfect.
The worst thing is in my notes it says Jerry's gonna love this, but I guess I misspelled Gary.
No, I do. It's really good.
It works for me.
I absolutely love how the German guy like is late to pull his gun out, and that's like, he's kind of the dirty version of a knight. He's kind of using modern contrivances.
Yeah,
And then just when he gets hit, the way he goes flying is absolutely hilarious.
it is really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's a good stunt.
Yeah.
Like the bike just goes out from under him, and he's just kind of like hanging there for like a split second almost. It seems
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
satisfying.
yeah. No, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
But it kind of made me a little sad too, because it also sort of reminded me of Herman falling off his horse.
Aw.
He's bicycle sick, motorcycle sick.
he's motorcycle sick.
And the two guys who like flip over the fallen motorcycle. I watched those landings like 7 or 8
Oh,
times.
yeah.
They're kinda
Yeah.
gross. One guy lands on his feet, and the other guy lands on his back or something.
Eep.
Yeah.
The one
It
guy
is.
does he does a complete flip and he lands on his feet. But I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's really
Like not in a good way.
Yeah, but not in a good. You're like, oh, there's gonna be swelling tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of see the stunt man doing exactly what he meant to do, which is kind of awesome. But then it
Yeah.
also looks like a guy getting completely ruined.
They go so over the top with this whole scene, though. I wonder if it's because they're so close to Skywalker Ranch. They're just like, we're pulling out all the stops. Like, everyone's got their A game here. Like the
Yeah.
boss is, the boss's house is just down the street. We got to put on a good show here.
So I wonder if the
Yeah.
motorcycle was not in the movie at all or something. Like, did they just like come out of the magic box in the motorcycle and then go to like the fork in the road with Berlin? And
That's a good
whatever?
question. Yeah, I don't know exactly where it began and ended. Like this new scene.
That's really weird.
Yeah, well, with that
Yeah.
that in mind, you think, well, then it's not the Nazis from the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And those Nazis from the boat were all like very kind of thin,
Yeah.
like teenagers guys. And these guys are huge.
that's clearly the Navy.
But these guys are all like, Joe Palooka.
Yeah.
Like these guys are all like big, tough guys.
Yeah. Little Northern California Nazis. From Skywalker Ranch.
Question for you, Gary.
Okay.
Why do you think Indy's dad is the professor you don't want to get?
Do you think he's the professor you don't want to get?
Well, they do say that. I mean, Indy says that about his father. He said he's a professor of medieval literature. He's a professor that none of the students want to get.
Interesting. I don't
And
know.
and I thought about that. We're talking about his umbrella and this scene and like how he looks so disapprovingly over at Indy.
I always figured it was more because like Indy's so much more of the like action hero type, like the like I'm gonna go out there and get stuff done. But I definitely feel like, especially after seeing his father's like house earlier in the movie, it's all like it's all in disarray because it's been ransacked, but like he's also got papers everywhere and all of that. I feel like he's definitely more of the type that Indy was talking about in his classroom, the like 70% of archaeology is spent in the library. Like I feel like he's more of that guy. And I think that's why I think that Indy isn't the kind of person that would want his father as a teacher.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That's true.
So that's not accurate. That's just Indy's opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indy knows him as his dad, who makes him count to Greek before he does anything, or count to 20 in Greek or whatever. So he's probably, imagine him as a school teacher. Like
Yeah, who'd want to put up
rapping
with this
your knuckles
guy?
and-
I like how
exactly.
you said it before. He makes him count to Greek.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty
I gotta
much
count
it.
all the way to Greek?
Yeah.
Forget it. I'm out of here, old man.
But I'm glad you brought this back up, Jared, because I feel like we skipped over something when he said this the first time to Donovan. I feel like Indy and his dad are so much alike, and they hate in each other what is so prevalent in themselves. Is Indy's the professor that nobody wants to get. If anybody wants to get a grade or to go to office hours,
Right, or learn
Indy's
anything.
a terrible professor. So it's like he's just completely pointing out the flaws in himself.
Yeah. I got like the last 10 minutes of some lecture, and that was it for the entire semester.
He said he was going to be in office hours, and then he snuck out the window.
Complete baloney.
Yep.
Well, I'm curious, Gary, how you would how you grew up with this movie, or how you would fit this into your.
I don't know. For a long time, I think Raiders was the only Indiana Jones movie that I really watched, and I don't think it was until maybe high school that I watched the later ones. And Temple of Doom, I don't think I've gone back to more than once. This one I really enjoy because I love the like Arthurian, like the quest for the Grail, like that whole angle. And I really like Sean Connery as Indy's dad.
Yeah.
Like how can you not love him?
So how would you rank him? Would you put this up there with Raiders?
I'd probably do Raiders, then this one, then Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know anymore. I mean, I know Raiders is number one, but I don't know if I should probably finish Temple or Last Crusade one minute at a time, and then I'll know.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, it's just so weird.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the benefit of doing the like minute by minute thing is really that even movies that at the surface or like before you kind of go in and scrutinize, it's easy to be like, oh, you know what? Like, I don't really like this movie that much. But when you go do that fine comb thing, sometimes you find things that you forgot that like, oh, you know what? I actually really like this thing, or oh, they did this really well.
Right.
And so
true.
like I'm having so much of that right now with Chamber of Secrets, where like I think it was my least favorite of the Harry Potter movies, but we're pretty deep into it now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying myself despite the fact that I don't think it's objectively the best of the movies,
Right. Yeah, it's a weird exercise for sure, in good and bad ways. I actually look forward to seeing Temple of Doom again and just being like, okay, I'm going to watch a movie. Everybody leave me alone. I'm just like.
But
this
wait
thing.
a minute now. In retrospect, here, Tommy, do you feel like Last Crusade is getting dragged down as you watch it a minute at a time, or is it like one of those pulley systems, or is Temple of Doom rising in your?
I think I'm.
Is he trying to save Pat Roach, or is he trying to kill Pat Roach?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if I gone into full indie Popeye mode trying to save Pat Roach. I don't know. I think it's you do these things 1 minute at a time, and they usually almost never stand up to scrutiny like that. Raiders kind of did because it's incredible. But then this
It's such a perfect movie.
it is. It's perfect, and it's just they don't do anything wrong in that movie. And you could argue they don't do anything wrong in this movie, but they hey, come on, it's fun. It's a romp, and it is, and it works that way.
Yeah.
But if you take a romp and you look at it 1 minute at a time, and you weigh it against a feather and all this stuff, you're like, oh wait, this romp is stupid. What are they doing? It doesn't hold up to anything. Oh
I
my
get
god!
that.
But it's actually that's not how you watch movies. So it's probably really good.
Yeah. And I don't buy the stupid part, but I like, especially after last minute we were talking with Christopher, like it really strikes me how these three movies are almost three different genres of movies.
Yeah.
And I think they all three work in their own way. And I love that it's three different movies, like three different kinds of movies.
Yeah.
It's not, they didn't just do the exact same thing three different times.
Mm-hmm.
And they all work. Like they all fit the theme of Indiana Jones. It's kind of like a different look at Indiana Jones each time.
Yeah.
Almost like, George Lucas's original vision for Star Wars was that, you'd get a different hot young director for each episode, and he would do it, like bring his own thoughts and his own ethos to it. And we kind of got that with this, is each one's got a very different feel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Did a butterfly just land on your shoulder?
He's singing Zippity Doodah, I think.
Just a light there. You have like a cat purring at your ankle.
I always have a cat.
Just a stray cat comes up and it's like, I like this man.
Hey,
Take me home.
you're soothing.
It's funny though, because I don't feel like this about most movies. Like I don't like most movies, but I feel like these are something special.
Listen, Tommy, you're out. Pete, you're giving my eulogy.
Fair enough. Can I still come? I can't wait to go to your funeral. It's going to be sweet. Jerry, you got something you want to say?
Oh. Why, yes. Coming over the wires.
Oh,
This just in from Professor Christy Porter.
Son of a gun.
Oh, thank God it's in English.
Oh, good.
Which is more effective? Turbaned peasants falling from ladders in the truck scene or jousting with goggled Nazis?
Which is more effective?
I think she means which is more fun. I don't know. Yeah, I think she just meant in terms of a chase scene.
Yeah. I always feel bad about the guys on the ladders. Like they're just innocent bystanders just trying to do their thing and build a thing and help their community. And then they all get probably seriously
What's
injured.
she talking about? Yeah, jousting.
God, I forgot about
Nazis.
the ladder guys. So I like.
Yeah.
That's more slapstick than this.
I don't know. I disagree. That's more mayhem. That's more.
A little bit, but it felt like right out of a silent movie, where it's kind of like, oh, we're gonna have a guy walking across the street. There's gonna be a piano being lifted above his head, and someone will be walking in front of him with a glass mirror, and it's like they're just gonna use the prop to throw in some kind of a almost silent movie comedy bit.
The guy on the hood in that scene, like looking in the that I'll give you that. That moment.
Yeah. I'll give you that. That was. The rest
is more like good, clean, breaking stuff.
I like that I'm saying slapstick like it's a good thing, and you're taking slapstick like I'm slapping you across the face. Fun? No, it's not fun. There's like fun about Raiders. Shut up.
It's an awfully fun movie, isn't it?
No, he's got a good point there, Tommy. That is pretty goofy, slapsticky. But again, it's just like in a song. It depends what else is going on around that moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I think we've agreed on something, but I don't know what it is. So let's just end there. Gary, where can the people find you and your shows?
Yeah, you can find me at duelinggenre.com, where we are currently doing Harry Potter Minute, and we have already completed all of Ferris Bueller's Minute Off. So 2 different, very different movies that people can go and check out over there. And we're on Facebook. Harry Potter Minute and the Listener's Army is our little, listener discussion group. So if people want to come and interact with the show, they can do that there.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Everybody should go do that. And everybody should also go to our website, indianajonesminute.com, and you can go to the store there and find the very best shirts and phone cases and tapestries and flapestries and anything else you need over there with all of our different designs. Something for every occasion, and it'll make you look cool. So do that, and then please come back next week for minute 66 of Last Crusade right here on the Indiana Jones Minute. Joust!
I'm rubbing against Pete.
Oh,
Not with that red light here. That was weird. I don't like this weird moment.